This video rendering started as a plain 3D model screenshot, and I was able to create it without using any traditional rendering software. All I used was one AI tool and a 5-step workflow that allows you to replicate it to get the same results. So let's start from the beginning. I only had a couple hours to complete the renderings for this development using these two views. I didn't want to waste most of my time placing assets or adjusting the scene. That led me to search for an alternative solution that was not just quick, but also accurate. That is when I stumbled upon this tool called Xfigura, which is an AI platform that's specifically built for architects and would be the perfect tool for me to transform my 3D Rhino screenshot into a realistic video rendering. The first step of the workflow is to create a realistic rendering using AI. And to do that, we're gonna need the 3D model screenshot and a text prompt. And so we're gonna start off by breaking down the text prompts into 4 different categories, starting with the beginner text prompt, moving to intermediate, advanced, and finally the pro text prompting. And that'll give us 4 generations that we can provide side by side so that you can see the accuracy and consistency of how the text prompting impacts the final results. So let's go ahead and get started with those text prompts, starting at the beginner level. So we have this master plan mixed use development that we want to describe to get a final output. So a beginner text prompt would go something maybe like create a realistic rendering of this Rhino screenshot, enhance materials, lighting in a modern style, super high quality. So Xfigura is a nodes-based platform which allows you to connect different nodes to the outputs. And so for the image node, we have the input of the prompt as well as the inputting of our reference image, which is the 3D model screenshot. And then from there, we'll click in to the image node and you can select the different AI models that you want the image to generate. So for this test purpose, we're just going to use Nano Banana Pro, but as you can see next to it, it has the approximate time it takes to generate the image as well as the amount of credits that you create. So let's go ahead and generate the first output. Here are the first generations from the beginner stage. We have 4 different images that we can select from. So as you can see, it definitely enhances some of the characteristics. I would say this 4th image is the best out of all of them, just because I think the lighting's fairly accurate as well as the materials placed around. And it also gives some context into the background, whereas some of these other images didn't really have much of a context. And it started to embellish some of the areas that I really didn't like. So let's move on to the intermediate stage of prompting, which using Xfigura allows us to type in more of a specific prompt, and then we can use GPT-5 Nano to enhance the prompt even more. So we don't have to be super knowledgeable in prompting, but we can use AI to enhance our prompts. So my base prompt, a lot more specific than the beginner prompt, is still kind of the same characteristics, but we're starting to be more specific with the materials. Like we're going to have glass, metal, and concrete textures on the building facade and structure, and then incorporating topics of vegetation and gardens around the site. And so again, I want to maintain the original massing and organization of the buildings. Sometimes with AI, it can start to embellish or hallucinate those things, and so I want to be extremely specific. Let's go ahead and enhance the text prompt using Xfigura. So there it goes. It just kind of updates and rewords everything to be a little bit more accurate and more descriptive to what we want. So let's go and see how that changes our outputs. We'll do the same thing, input the prompt, and then input the reference image. And for all of these, we'll use the same settings so that we can have accurate results to compare to at the end. Images are in, and let's check them out. So these are the 4. This one is definitely very inaccurate in terms of the before and after. If we look at it, it changes completely the view that we had. But the other generations are a lot more accurate when it comes to showing the exact 3D massing that we have. And that's exactly what we want. We just want to enhance the details and the materials within the scene without changing our 3D massing, because that defeats the whole purpose of using AI then. If it's just going to mess things up, we'll go the traditional route. So I would say in terms of the quality of the images and the details, I think they're a lot better. There's still a lot to be desired in terms of the overall composition of things. Still not a lot of context. But as we progress through the stages, we'll get more detailed as well as producing better results, hopefully, but we'll have to stay tuned to see that. Now for the advanced prompting, I use something called the portal method, which allows me to kind of keep a similar structure each time I want to do an image generation. So that stands for program, defining the program, having the orientation. So this is going to be an aerial view. The rhythm is kind of like the style, so it's going to be more of a sustainable modern. And then textures, this is where we get into more detail of what is actually going to be on these buildings and the context, enhancing the details of the material with metal panel seams, wood grain, etc. And then the ambiance, we're describing kind of the scene. Midday cloudy scene with soft exterior lighting, and context buildings, which we haven't included in the previous prompts. And then having more detail to that colorful translucent canopy. So we'll go ahead and generate these images with the advanced prompt. Here are the results for the advanced prompting. So already this is 10 times better than the beginner and the intermediate combined. Just the quality of the results as well as the details that are provided. So if we go to the before and after, dang it does adjust the perspective a little bit. That's extremely unfortunate, but I think the second generation is certainly a lot better in terms of keeping that structure. Same with this third and fourth. Now we've reached the final stage of text prompting, which is JSON prompting. Essentially, a JSON prompt is code. And so I brought in the previous prompt from the advanced version into ChatGPT and had it change it into a JSON prompt, which is a lot more specific, but written in more of a code. And so I'll copy that and bring it in to the text prompt. And then we'll go ahead and generate the images. Here's the result of the JSON prompt imagery that we created. So off the first glance, it's overall a really good composition and quality of image. But what some of the other prompts have failed to do is create an accurate image to the 3D model screenshot. But for this JSON prompt, it did a really good job not only adhering to the main massing that we wanted, but also adding additional site context around the scene that a lot of the other stages failed to do. So overall, I really liked the outcome that we created here using the Pro text prompt method. But from here, we're going to go ahead and upscale the image. So to upscale an image, we'll connect the reference image, and then you can also type in a text prompt or whatever. And then from there, you're able to upgrade with these 5 different models. And then from there, you can adjust based on the model, the image quality, resolution, and various other settings. So this is our result from upscaling that original image. So you won't notice too much difference, but I think some of the key elements are the contrast and the shadows added to a lot of the elements, as well as just an enhancement of materials and the overall lighting. So from here, we're gonna go ahead and test out the inpainting tool to maybe come up with a few options in this front plaza area where there's a lot of greenery. Maybe we can do something cool with that area. So we'll go ahead and move on to inpainting. So to use the inpainting feature within Xfigura, we'll connect the input image, we'll click open inpaint. And so now we have the image that we're referencing, and we have layers on the left-hand side that we can draw our masked area that we want to inpaint. And so you can either use the paint tool, or what I like to do is use the shape tool. So we're gonna outline this plaza area that we want to edit. And then once we've selected the area that we want inpainted, we'll go ahead and save mask. And then I'm gonna type in a prompt, and then let's go check out the results. So I've generated 2 inpainted images from this first reference image that we've upscaled. And so let's check them out. So this first one basically removed all the buildings on that plaza level and replaced it with this sunken garden. Now, I'm not a big fan that it took away the existing buildings that we had, but I do like the idea of what it was trying to do. It maybe misunderstood it a little bit. But the second one, I think, is more what I was looking for. It still kept the main buildings that we wanted, but started to improve that plaza space into a sunken garden, keeping it within the constraints that we had identified. So far, we have brought in our 3D model screenshot and enhanced it to a realistic rendering using a text prompt and a reference image to this level quality. And then we've upscaled that image for an even higher realism. And then inpainted, making a few edits to the image to refine it even more. But next up, we're going to use the style transfer because I have a couple more views within that Rhino model that I want to get rendered. And I want to see if I can keep the same style from this image and apply it to the others. Because if I'm not able to do that, then there's not really a benefit to using AI if I can't keep a consistency between the different renderers of my project. So how I'm going to approach this is I have these 2 additional views that are Rhino screenshots, and in order to get the most accurate style transfer, I'm going to do an image creation and connect the nodes from these images, and then also get the text prompt that I use from the JSON prompt. So here we have the first result of the style transfer for a different view. So as we're looking at this, the style seems to be pretty good, very high quality image, but as you can see, the perspective does change a little bit. Now, I'll have to argue the perspective in the AI rendering actually is more suitable and more realistic. This one seems to be a little bit skewed, so that's on me for having a bad Rhino screenshot. But now let's check out how the style transfer worked on the other view that we had. I generated 2 additional images. This first one was a little bit embellished, and as you can see, like the people didn't really get generated well. There were a few errors, but overall, the massing was maintained. I just didn't like the generation. But the second iteration was a lot better. Now, this kid just doesn't want to be generated as an AI. He's kind of remaining faceless, which is okay. But I think the rest of the image generated pretty well. Now, I think the structure is slightly off again, but the overall enhancement was fairly good. And so let's compare these to the original style that we had. I would say for this first generation, the styles are fairly comparable. Now, when we move down to this lower concourse eye level view, I think the styles are hard to compare because it's just a completely different scene. So I think it could fly in terms of a similar style of rendering between the style transfers. So I think it was successful, but there's always room for improvement. So let's go and put this back and move on to the final stage, which is image to video generation. So how we're going to approach this is simple. Just like all the other creations, we drop in the video node that we want. We'll have a text prompt, and then we'll input these images that we want to create as renderings. And so for the models that you have to work with, you have ByteDance, Sora 2, and Google VO. And within those models, there are subsettings which allow you to adjust if there's audio, the quality, and the duration. But before we go ahead and check the final results, let's check out all the images and generations we've created throughout this video. So here are the final 2 generations that we created. First, from that main aerial view, and then second will be from that street level view of the plaza space. So now you can steal my 5-step workflow to transform a 3D model screenshot into a realistic rendering that'll then lead to a final realistic video output. And if you want to try out Xfigura today, click on the link in the description. Hope you guys found this video extremely informative and like this type of content. Make sure you subscribe if you want to join the architecture grind.